What's up, all my fight fans? So, our good friend Dana White has finally spoken about his decision to make kamzat Chimaev versus Nate Diaz. And I gotta say, obviously, we knew he wasn't gonna go and say what we all want him to say, or what he probably should say, is saying, yeah, this is Nate Diaz's last fight. We want him to go off looking as bad as possible, because it's true. You know, he did give Nate Diaz a very, very losable fight. Again, I know I've said that Nate could win this fight as well, but let's face facts. He could have very well given us a more exciting fight, like a Michael Chandler fight where we know Michael and him are gonna slug it out. He could have gave us a Nate Diaz versus Dustin Poirier fight, which is again another slugfest, another fight of the year. Those two guys would literally beat the hell out of each other until the very last second of the very last round. But no, he gives Nate Diaz, who does not want to re-sign his contract, who doesn't want to renegotiate his contract, who doesn't want more money, because we heard Nate Diaz on the Ariel Helwani show say that they've been offering him more money, that they're trying to give him more money to stay, and all these other different scenarios where Nate Diaz actually said on Ariel Helwani's show where Nate just does not want to stay. So in that case, there really is no way other to look at it than UFC is trying their best to make Nate Diaz look as bad as possible by giving him a very tough grappler in a much heavier weight division. Now again, I get that he has said, well, Nate Diaz called for this. Well, because we all know you're going to make it tougher for Nate Diaz to get a fight against Dustin Poirier, against a Michael Chandler, and against possibly even a Vicente Luque, because at the end of the day, those are all very winnable fights. kamzat Chimaev, again, yes, Nate can win. I know what a lot of other people are saying who are a very higher caliber than I am when it comes to talking about this stuff. But still, nonetheless, I do still feel strongly that Nate Diaz can actually win this fight. You know, because he does have more superior boxing. He does have more superior grappling. And at the end of the day, when we see, oh my God, kamzat is going to destroy him. kamzat is just going to dominate him. And we're going that based on all that of his previous wins against other opponents. Well, let's really look at it. We look at Nate Diaz's opponents and we look at kamzat's opponents. And unfortunately, I'm sorry, guys, you know, kamzat has not really won against the higher caliber opponents like Nate has. Yes, kamzat could dominate a lot of Nate's opponents. You know, the things that he could do to guys like Anthony Pettis, Conor McGregor. I mean, the list goes on what he can possibly do to these guys. But still, at the end of the day, it's a maybe, could be, probably until he actually does it. So, yeah, I'm going based on purely experience. I'm going based on the amount of skills that I've actually been able to see. You know, I've seen some good talent from kamzat, but at the end of the day, it's been against some pretty decent opponents, not really good, top-notch opponents for kamzat. And that's what it's all about. It's not even just about the fact that the opponents are a popular name. There's a reason why they're popular. It's because how good they are. And yeah, again, but this is kamzat's beginning of his career. So, of course, I don't suspect or expect him to go against a Kobe, a Masvidal, or a Kamaru Usman so early. So yeah, again, we heard Dana speak about all this. He didn't necessarily give us too much. He said that it's the fight that the fight fans want. You know, of course, none of us were calling for that. Nate, only reason why he called for that, because we knew that Nate's smart. He knew that was a fight that they were just going to give him because he just wants to leave. He wants to go. So the only reason why he said, you know what, just give me that fight. Give it to me. Fine. You know what? I know this is the one you guys want me to have. I know it's like he knew what kind of games the UFC wanted to play with him. They wanted to give him a fight that, again, he did say no to last year in October, because they knew they were going to have him say no. So they can put a hole in his contract, or extend it, I should say. They could extend his contract for another 6 months, and keep him in the UFC, and possibly keep him there to save him for Conor McGregor, where Nate Diaz has openly said he wants to leave. He wants to go try other things. You know, he's built himself up so much. Again, I know what people are going to say. Well, the UFC built him. It takes two. It takes two to tango. You know, we can give you the platform. We can give you the cameras. We can give you the lights. We can give you the stage. But it's up to you as the talent to make people wanting to come and be at the seats. To make people want to watch you on TV. To buy the pay-per-view. To buy the merchandise. And that's what Nate Diaz did. So it took two of them. Yes, the UFC definitely helped, but Nate Diaz also did it himself as well, of being who he is. So, you know, of course, this fight's going to happen in September 10th. And one thing I definitely like to talk about regarding this is I see a lot of resemblances to UFC. I believe it was 270 with Francis Ngannou versus Cyril Gane. We remember that fight card, and it literally had next to no names on that fight card. So it really still feels like not only are they trying to screw Nate Diaz on his way out by giving him a real tough challenger, a real well-known grappler, they are also trying to make it less and less, so far. Who knows? They could be adding more stuff to it because there's not a whole lot right now on that fight card. But they took off Aljamain Sterling versus TJ Dillashaw and moved it to the UFC fight pay-per-view in October in Abu Dhabi. And now it's like, what else are they going to do? Are they just going to literally stack it full of a couple of decent opponents, decent fighters, and have Nate and Hamza as the main event? Like, they really, really want to try their best to not sell this fight as much, it feels like. It really feels like they're trying their best to make sure that Nate doesn't get as big of a pay-per-view as he possibly could. Because Hamza is a very popular fighter, but he's no Conor McGregor. He's no Jorge Masvidal, you know, and yeah, it just feels like they're really doing their best to do that. That's what they did with Francis. And we all know why they did that with Francis. Because Francis wanted to renegotiate his contract too. He wanted to do a boxing fight. And, you know, the UFC wasn't playing ball with him. So, going to the UFC 70, they definitely didn't stack that card. Sure, they did a flyweight championship fight on there. But again, the flyweights are definitely, being that there is no Henry Cejudo, Demetrius Johnson on there, all due respect to those guys, they're not notable names either. So they definitely want to show, like, look, this is what Nate Diaz can do. This is what his star power is. And all honesty, I still feel like it's going to sell really good. Because regardless, Nate Diaz is a popular name. No matter what. Nate Diaz is a star. The guy was gone for 3 years. After he lost to Conor McGregor in August, I believe, 2016, he did not come back until August 2019 and still was a household name. And still put on a real big event in MSG against Jorge Masvidal for a new belt, the BMF belt. Unfortunate ending, but still, it just shows what kind of star power Nate has. Like, no matter what, all honesty, no matter what the UFC is trying to do or what they're going to do, they're never ever going to diminish the power of Nate Diaz. The star power of Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz's star power is always going to grow higher and higher and higher. It's always going to shine brighter and brighter and brighter. Always. And there's nothing that they can do to stop that. Even giving him Hamza. Because think about it, guys. Think about it. Let's say Hamza decides to just wrestle Nate Diaz the entire 5 rounds. Is that really going to, you know, diminish his boxing ability when he wants to go box Jake Paul or Triple G? Is Jake Paul really going to say, no, he looked bad because he was just out wrestled? Really? Like, really? It's literally going to hurt Kamzat that much more, holding Nate Diaz to the ground or maybe even submitting Nate Diaz. It's really not going to be that big of a deal. Now, if he strikes with Nate Diaz and knocks him out, then definitely that's a big win for Kamzat. But also, you're playing into a dangerous game. You're playing into a game who loves to throw hands, with a fighter who loves to exchange hands, who is almost more of a boxer than he is an MMA fighter. And that will be a great fight in itself, because now we get to see what kind of hands Kamzat has against another guy who has an expert striking level in Nate Diaz. So that's what makes me more excited for this fight. A lot of people see it as in Kamzat is going to completely ragdoll and out-wrestle Nate Diaz to the ground, and he's going to fight smart, because he's actually said on Ariel Helwani's show that he did not fight smart against Gilbert Burns. And no, he didn't. But at the same time, I believe that he wants to prove how good he really is. And being that he is so, this is such the beginning point of his career for Kamzat, as soon as those crowds and as soon as those fans start to boo if he decides to take Nate to the ground and just hold Nate there, or maybe a little ground and pound here and there, which we know Nate is not easy to be on the ground with, because again, he is a Gracie Jiu-Jitsu black belt. So it's not going to be that easy just to, hey, I got you on the ground, that's it. Like, no, he's still going to have a tough time right there. But I do believe that, you know, as the fight gets closer and Kamzat is starting to anticipate how this fight is going to go down, I really strongly feel like he is going to want to stand with Nate. And I'm not saying he can't. I'm really not saying he can't. I know he has striking power. We've seen that. He is very strong and very technical with his striking as well. But I just don't feel like he can definitely outbox Nate. And I definitely don't feel he can outlast Nate. Because, again, this is the first time we are entering 5 rounds for Kamzat Chimaev. And Nate has been there countless times. So, is Dana White, like, really trying his best to make sure he sends Nate off in the worst way possible? Is Dana White trying to not stack that UFC card so it doesn't get as much eyeballs as it possibly can? You guys tell me what you think. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you feel. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.